What I'm about to tell you is something that could prevent all or most of your student academic or behavioral problems in your classroom. Welcome everybody, my name is Gil Bass. I am a former Spanish educator. I make videos, anything related to education, mostly for Spanish educators, those who are taking the Masters of Ed program at the University of the People, and just in general for educators. So if any of those things interest you, go ahead and click subscribe before you forget. Okay, keep on watching if you ever thought the following. Students misbehave for no reason, students are lazy and always want to take retakes, you can't build a relationship with students because XYZ reason, the student doesn't do their homework, the student doesn't care about class, about school. What if I told you that there is a way to prevent all of this mess from the get-go? Okay, so what I'm about to tell you, it's not the sexiest thing, but this is your best tool. It is even further than building relationships with students. It is further than making your curriculum as perfect as possible. It is better than creating a classroom management plan. So before I tell you what this thing is that will help prevent a lot of the issues that we encounter in the classroom, let me just paint a picture for you. If you like sports, you know that football or in any other sport, every single person on that team has a specific position, but everyone has the same vision, the same goal to win, right? A quarterback does something different than positions on the defense part, right? But everybody's doing something differently. Everyone has a role and everyone has value, equal value in the on the team. With every student that enters your classroom, you need a team. Usually it's the teacher, the student, and admin. But there is a big piece of the puzzle that we keep missing, that we do not utilize as often. If you haven't guessed already, it's family engagement. And you might be thinking, well, my parents, those families, they just don't care. They don't have the resources, they don't have the time to engage. Honestly, to be real with you, those are just excuses. Family partnerships is primarily the responsibility of the school. If we want families to be involved, we need to open the door for them. We can't just expect families to come and be engaged. Although that could apply to some schools where families have a huge role, but if we never open the door for them because of these preconceptions that we already have of families, then we'll never know what's on the other side of the door. I have two main strategies that you can implement on the first week of professional development. First one is, and it's gonna sound radical, especially if you're a high school teacher. If you're an elementary school teacher, it's a lot easier. But let's say you have 120 students. Let's say in an ideal world, you get a roster for all your students already. You can see the family contact immediately. Obviously, if that roster isn't available until later, then you'll probably do this later throughout the first month of school. But let's say in an ideal world, you get that list 1 week before school starts. You're going to write up a template text, and I'm going to help you how to write that in a bit. Or this could also be a phone call. If you feel experienced, you feel confident, go for it. But if this is your first year, it could be a daunting task, so no worries. You're gonna write the text, and you are going to look at your roster. For the month of August, you are going to contact all the families for first period. And then for second period, September. For third period, October, and so forth. I know it sounds radical. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but let me break it down so that it sounds simple and easy. So you can be ambitious and call everybody on the week of professional development. That would be ideal if you have time during professional development. But if you don't, for the month of August, literally just text one family a day, or even 2 families a day if you're feeling adventurous. And that's all you have to do. And if you're doing it every single day, it'll become habitual. So what are you going to say? So let me help you. Just a simple greeting, right? Good afternoon. My name is blah, blah, blah. I'm excited to have XYZ as a student. And then you can ask them these questions. The first one is, what can you tell me about your child that could help me be a good teacher for him or her? And the last thing that you could say is, expect to hear from me throughout the year and know that I want to hear from you. Feel free to contact me with any questions or comments about your child. And do not forget to save the contact. And the way that I usually put is just the name of the student first and the name of the parent. And another thing to show even rapport through the text is to ask them if, do you prefer I call you by your first name, or would you want me to call you by your Mr. and then their last name, or Miss and their last name? So just having that quick, but it's still a connection with the family, regardless of any circumstance that may arise, means a lot to the parent. If you're still not sold on this idea, let me just paint a picture. This text, this phone call is literally, you're opening the door for parents. You're making it easier for parents to contact you. And you're building a relationship, even though it does not require more than 10 minutes. It's going to make a difference, and parents are going to like you. And if parents like you, if you get on their side, it's going to make a difference in the academic and the behavioral success of their child. So let me explain why. Number one is, once the parent finds out that you contacted them, the parents will let the child know, hey, your Spanish teacher contacted me. Hey, your math teacher contacted me. And the child now knows that there is an additional adult that will keep them accountable of what happens at school. Because what tends to happen is, a lot of these kids, they act out a lot of times because their parents aren't watching, and they do whatever they want, right? But now they understand that if something happens in Spanish class, that student will know that they're going to be kept accountable by the teacher, but also by the parent, because both adults are involved in this process of keeping the kid accountable. If you're still not sold, let me give you 2 more points. The first one is, parents want to be involved, but if you don't give them that opportunity, it will never happen. The last point is that if parents are concerned with an assignment or with student behavior or literally anything, if they have your contact saved already because you messaged them at the beginning of the year, they will already have your contact info and they can immediately text you, which saves time on their part and also saves time on your part. Because what tends to happen, if the parent doesn't have your contact info and it is urgent, they're going to have to call the office, and the office will have to contact you so that you can contact the parent, and it's just a lot of unnecessary steps. So if you make it easy for the parent in any way possible, they are more likely to collaborate with you. Okay, the second strategy is very simple, but it's hard in practice because I've been there, is whenever a student does something great or positive, is following the instructions, is showing improvement, whatever it is, just send a text immediately. Maybe even during class. I was about to say right after school or during lunchtime, whatever, but you can even do it like right on the spot. And if you have the contact saved, it makes it easier for you, right? You just look it up and you just text them. It takes less than 5 minutes, maybe during independent work time, because it makes a difference and it makes the parents proud and it makes the kids feel great that their parents feel proud. I used to work in mostly Hispanic communities, and there's this huge like sense of, or this desire of making their parents proud. And if you send a text message and tell them they did something great today, that's going to build their confidence. That's going to motivate them to do well in your class every single day. But it all starts with a simple text or phone call home. And that applies with students that misbehave. If a student misbehaves and they have to be redirected 4 times, then the teacher needs to be in contact with the family. So that also needs to happen on the same particular day. My first year, I did not do a good job of this because I would always forget, and I was always too tired to do anything after school. But just make it a habit right after school, or even during lunchtime. You can have the best classroom management plan, the best curriculum, and even have the best delivery of information. But if you do not involve your families, whether it be positive or negative, you are missing a big piece of the puzzle. And I just wish that would be more of a tip that we talk about here on the internet, on YouTube, TikTok, or whatever, is utilize our families. Regardless of our preconceptions and our prejudgments, we need to open the door to families, because it can change the way students behave, and it could change how the students' desire to learn in your classroom. So if you learned anything today, do me a quick favor, give me a thumbs up on the video. Comment below what are some things that you've done in terms of family engagement. Is it very strong at your school? Is it something that needs to be improved? Tell me more about it. I'd love to learn more about it. Before we wrap up, if you are interested in getting your Master's of Ed and you're tight on money, I recommend the Master's of Ed at the University of the People. It's tuition free. There are some administrative costs, but it does not surpass that of regular programs in the United States. So take a look at that if you're interested in the next video. I'll see you later. Hasta luego. Bye.